And welcome back, everybody, to the second episode in our Grand Tactician, the Civil War Confederate campaign. We have done the spring of 1861 start, and it is May 4th, 1861. War is officially declared. And to rehash a couple things, our focus of this campaign is to highlight a more Western-focused strategy than the historical Civil War. We focused our policies on the Old Dominion, which is a historical policy, but where Virginia votes to secede from the Union. We enacted Kansas a slave state policy to organize pro-slavery immigration and cross-border intrusions into Kansas territory, giving Southern support in Kansas plus 25 bonus. And also, and most importantly, Apostles of Disunion is active, giving us pro-slavery fire eaters will increase Southern support in all slave states by plus 20, but will also increase Northern support in all free states by plus 10. So if we want to take a look at the support, you can see that Missouri and Kentucky are strongly supporting the South. Now, Kentucky, according to the reports, did not officially secede in the game, but they are heavily supporting the Confederate cause, which should make it much easier for us to occupy the territory and defend it if their population supports our cause. Same thing with Missouri. But we can get all the support we want from the population. If we can't hold the physical territory of Kentucky and Missouri, it does not matter in the least. So we currently have the Army of Tennessee, only about 1,700 strong right now, under Felix Zollicoffer, headed towards Memphis en route to Arkansas, then up north to Missouri to reinforce Price and McCulloch, who are trying to organize into a stronger defense. See, the Department of the West, reports are they are 13,000 strong, so they greatly outnumber our small force in Missouri. I may actually send Price to Springfield to link up with McCulloch. That would give us about 5,000 in men. We'll build a depot there. Try to find some other reinforcements there. These are all garrison units here. Let's look at the Army management screen for the Western Army under McCulloch. We were unable to recruit infantry, and I think it's a funding issue, as our surplus is minus 225,000. So right now we are struggling to generate enough income to afford to recruit. I wonder if we move our subsidy sliders down a little bit. Maybe we should keep the recruitment slider up. I mean, we need to be able to field some sort of army. I mean, the army's on the field according to the strategic ledger. We are not that far behind, about a difference of 7,000. Now, Albert Sidney Johnston's Army of Georgia, which actually I probably should rename it. I don't seem to be able to rename it, so I don't know. You can search by name here. Oh, there we go. So right here on the left-hand side, Army of Georgia, we can rename to, this will be the Army of Kentucky. Okay, so the name did change after I clicked out of the military or Army management screen, so it doesn't automatically change until you click out and then click back in. And you can see that Albert Sidney Johnston is has 4-star in fame. He's legendary. Everyone knows his name and his deeds, knowing he is there fighting for the nation, raises spirits high. Even the foreign newspapers love to write about him, and all this makes the enemy nervous when facing him and his troops. He is cautious, and he is distinguished and mediocre administrator and predictable. So some of his other stats are starting to fall. He's a veteran, West Point graduate. This officer has completed formal military studies in a military academy, making him a professional in the art of war and suitable to quickly adapt to higher command. Now, one thing we want to do is we will march the Army of Kentucky to Bowling Green. There are no reports. The Army or the Department of Ohio, no reports of movement from them across the Ohio. We have our small contingent of Army of the Northwest under Porterfield, who is guarding the West Virginia area of Virginia. And Johnston is facing off against the Department of Pennsylvania. So the Department of Pennsylvania has about 5,000 men. Army of Northeastern Virginia only about 9,000. So even though we are still outnumbered by both those armies, not by large margin as out west. So maybe the Union is taking the same approach. Well, let's march Beauregard north to reinforce our armies in Virginia. All right, we're going to move along here and see. You can see Albert Johnston took no time to move his men to Bowling Green. We're going to construct a depot. We're going to do some construction. Building supply depots allow logistical support to your armies by storing the supplies needed for campaigning. The closer the depot, the shorter the time to resupply. If a supply depot is captured by the enemy, all supplies will be lost. And again, Zollenkoffer slow to move out. Let's look at finances again. Oh, now we're showing a surplus now, finally. I wonder if we can now reinforce and start adding more men. I'd like to add more to the Western Army. Still nothing. We can add some cavalry or artillery. Not enough recruits. Oh, okay. So I just noticing this now. We can change the size of the infantry brigade from full strength of about 3,000 to 1,500 and 2,200. So actually, we can only really recruit from Kentucky. So we can recruit one brigade from Kentucky. How do we want to distinguish our Kentucky men? Do gray? Well, how about the green? Oh, maybe like a blue. Men from the bluegrass state, so they'll have the light blue trousers. We'll attach them to Frost's division of McCulloch's command. And actually, we can probably also recruit a cavalry unit too. And we don't have enough. Not enough people to recruit. Oh, North Carolina. We're going to recruit a cavalry unit from Tennessee. Tennessee, we're going to do the gray, and we'll do green. Green trousers for Tennessee. How about this tannish color? Yeah, let's do that kind of gross looking color. All right, so we have two 1-and-1 in this division under Frost. We're going to actually create a new division. Cox division. Let's add some. We're going to do infantry. Texas has no recruits to draw from. I guess they've already supplied 1,300 men. Everything's out east. It's going to take longer to reinforce. I guess we can recruit some men from West Virginia. We can't. For some reason we can't. Is it just logistically not possible? Oh no, it's just there's too many. Oh, the lowest number is 1,500. So yeah, they only have 1,100 men possible. We'll do North Carolina. We'll recruit one infantry from there. Let's see if we can get a artillery section. I forget the color schemes already. And I think that's all we'll recruit now for the Western Army. So hopefully they can recruit those men quickly enough and in time to be any kind of factor in any battle that might occur in Missouri. Keep an eye on the Eastern fronts. Not seeing a lot of movement from the Union forces around Washington and Northern Virginia. McCulloch is at destination. And Beauregard is just going to join Robert E. Lee. We gotta find the Army of Northeastern Virginia. Oh, Army of the Potomac. So what happens here is you can't just attach Beauregard to Lee, though. I wonder if I can if I do this. What you could do is... So Beauregard is left without a command. Now, I wonder if I can replace Pillow with Beauregard. Oh, they won't let you. Because he's too high command. He's too high command. Now, one thing under the strategic menu, they show you the commanding generals and the general-in-chief. So actually, and that's actually decided by the AI based off of the rank and skill of the general in the army. So right now, Beauregard is the general-in-chief. Even though I put Robert E. Lee in command of the Army of Potomac, he's not the highest general in the Confederate States. One thing I might try to do is let's send Beauregard back to Richmond. He can actually recruit. Let's see if we can recruit more men. Do we have enough men to recruit? No, we don't. I'm going to use Beauregard to... Well, actually, they've taken him off the map because he has no command. Although his timer's stuck there. 9,000. So the Army of Northeastern Virginia stationed at Washington, D.C. keeps growing. Department of Pennsylvania. I think I have an opportunity here maybe to strike a blow against the Department of Pennsylvania. If I can get Lee to move into the Shenandoah. Let's see if they can do this quickly. Alright, there we go. Oh, pause. Alright, so I have... Alright, we're still waiting on Beauregard's old command to join us, but there's 1 day left. Oh, there's 1,400 men available in Maryland. So there's a little glitchy, something glitchy with that timer right there. Left over from Beauregard's command. There's 2 Union invasions, Department of the West and Department of Pennsylvania. We're going to try to strike a blow against the Department of Pennsylvania, and before it gets ahead of steam, why don't we'll keep an eye on the Army of the West, too. The Department of the West out in St. Louis. Supplies. McCulloch's army is a little bit undersupplied. Why don't we build a supply depot? And Price is joining McCulloch. How's Zollikofer doing? Taking his sweet old time. Johnston's readiness is in the yellow for some reason. It's mediocre. Readiness represents the unit's ability to carry out orders. Military operations decrease readiness, while rest and resupply will improve it. Unit cannot use forced march and has a slightly lower reinforcement speed. Full readiness should be reached within 26 days. A whole month? What's going on, Johnston? I wonder if the operation here is... Johnston has 2 goals. Maybe to take Paducah and Columbus. And... keep an eye on the Department of Ohio. So So we're going to strike out at Paducah. Fort is at 81% now in Kentucky. And same with Missouri. Kansas is fully supporting the Union, it looks like. Oh no, wait, they're fully supporting us, but they are under Union control. We can hold on to Missouri. We can make a move into Kansas and take. I'm sure we can be able to persuade Kansas to join us. All right, we have our order set. I feel a battle coming in around Winchester in the Shenandoah Valley. Now we've completely exposed Richmond, though, with only Magruder defending and garrisoning. We're waiting for Lee's army to be reinforced. Funding policy 1 selected. The Confederate crediting rating has improved. Printing new banknotes made possible. Tariffs on imports to increase. Economy preparing for war. Finances have stabilized somewhat. Let's see if we can make any sense of the production menu. We can take a look at all our industries. Oh, there's an all checkbox there, so I could have just checked them all. Now, they show all of the factories, including Union ones. Ooh, look at the Shelby Iron Company. So workforce going down. So you can kind of, there's not a lot you can do. You can't go in and actually do anything with these businesses or corporations or foundries or farms, but you can kind of see how they're progressing and I guess make decisions with policies based off that. Same thing with finances. I mean, right now, we have our tariff set at 30%. I mean, we could lower tariffs, but then we might bankrupt ourselves even quicker. All right, so did Beauregard's reinforcements arrive? Yes. So South Carolina militia has joined Robert E. Lee's army. So we are going to try to push out the Department of Pennsylvania. With Lee and Johnston. U.S. Navy arming civilian ships, cheaper ships to service, shipyards ready to convert, Union transport capacity reduced. So we did just complete a policy, so we should probably take a look at what policy we'll want to do next. Regulars Act in 20.68. Forming the Army of the Confederate States or regular army has not reached its target. Only a few small units have been recruited, and these are operating within the volunteer brigades. This order forms dedicated regular brigades by recruiting all possible former U.S. regulars and veterans within the ranks. 6 small regular units with good training and experience are added to your armies. Oh, we would definitely do that. So that'll be done before the end of the month. That should bolster our ranks up pretty well, as we've only fielded not even 25,000 men yet. If we look at the strategic situation, the Union has fielded almost 33,000 men so far. And obviously they should have the advantage in manpower. See if our armies start to move out from the Shenandoah near Winchester. There's Johnston starting to move. Alright, Lee's on the move. Looks like they're encamping for the night. British declare neutrality. Royal Navy to avoid American ports. Any blockade to be monitored by the Admiralty to reinforce Milne. 4,300 regular British troops in Canada. No Union march south. Although we've taken our eyes off of the army in northeastern Virginia. Again, the goal here is to drive out the Army of the Department of Pennsylvania, and then move back towards Alexandria. Oh, Zollenkoffer at destination. Johnston arrives at destination. Go Johnston. Price at destination and Lee at destination. So our armies have arrived where we want them to. And the Western Army is growing strong. They'll be over 10,000. Then we can maybe push forward towards Rolla. Let's see what our front lines look here in Missouri. So yeah, we've secured ourselves around the southwest of Missouri. We're going to push back north. No coal. So our CSS Huntsville is still disabled. They are at 14%, so they're still taking a while. I want to build a... We're going to sacrifice the blue water fleet for the brown water. Build a third-rate steamer. No battle initiated yet. Sounds like weather is stormy. Alright, so engagement. Army of Potomac is in contact with the Department of Pennsylvania. What are your orders? Army of Potomac with 5,900 men, and the Army of Shenandoah nearby as well, under the command of Johnston, 7,000 men versus their 5,000 men. Alright, I want to play this battle on the field of battle. And we're going to have our first battle, not as large as the first Battle of Manassas, but still significant. Almost 14,000 men in arms on the field of battle. Battle of Harpers Ferry. Or it looks like we're going to be using the Winchester map. We have Johnston here on the right flank. And they have Thomas Jackson in the ranks. And it's Jeb Stuart. And Lee's army or contingent. It's hardly an army at the moment. They'll come down the Kernstown road here. And they will. Oh, they're in contact with the enemy already. This high ground here. Set the guns up there. Hampton, Jones, and Ewell in reserve. I wonder if that's all the Union troops right there. Johnston's in a good position to flank. Send out some skirmishers. It is. It's actually kind of later in the day. It's about 3:30 in the day. If we can't get the Louisiana batteries to fire, maybe we need to move up a little bit. There's the booming of the cannon. Ooh, right at Jones's detachment. Let's get Johnston moving. They'll come down Millwood Pike here. Actually sending Stuart down ahead of the column. Got two batteries here. Louisiana batteries and the South Carolina artillery. And the Union troops are falling back to behind the creek here at Milltown. Now we're just moving brigade by brigade. Jones's skirmishers trying to get some fire onto the Union troops holding Milltown. So Johnston's in a good position to flank the Union forces. All right, Louisiana batteries are firing. 24 pounds. So we have 24-pound howitzers on James's batteries. And yeah, so we're both batteries are 24-pound howitzers. Lee's men equipped with the Hall rifle and mixed muskets, and a Mississippi rifle for Hampton's small brigade. We're going to move forward with Jones' men and Hampton. Keep pushing forward with Stuart's cavalry. Colonel David Jones assaulting Negley's detachment. We're going to recall our skirmishers so that we can actually increase our Jones's brigade size. We got some Hampton in contact. We still have Ewell in reserve. We also have South Carolina militia. Oh, and we've driven back some Union troops. Try to wheel around with Stephen Lee's brigade, trying to get in around the flank, the right flank of the Union troops at Milltown, and then we can get Stuart in and around the Union position. And we also have artillery and infantry support. Wade Hampton and Lee's detachment laying down some fire against Thomas's detachment, and they have routed. Now those are just skirmishers. We'll order Stuart to flank this artillery. It looks like they are aware now of the situation. Dismount Stuart's cavalry and start assaulting that artillery. They gotta fall back now. They realize they've been flanked. Though we're running out of daylight. Stuart's cavalry is unmounted and attacking the Patterson's artillery, but Negley's brigade wheels back to protect the flank. Now we need to get Stonewall Jackson's brigade over here. Heavy fighting now in around Milltown. Stuart is driven back though. He is broken. So Negley and Patterson's artillery are able to protect their flank. We need to get this artillery up here too. Thomas's brigade is starting to waver. Lots of fighting now around Milltown. The Union troops are holding strong. Looks like Jackson's coming under fire. Milltown is now in flames. Let's bring in Ewell to support Jackson and his flanking attack. Oh wow. Union has a slight advantage though in victory points. Lee's detachment, we are breaking the brigade of Thomas. See, Jackson's now in position, but taking on some casualties. But Ewell is coming in to support. And they're going to try to take those batteries. A minor victory now, so Johnston is demoralized. Milltown is not yet in our hands. Oh, wow. Ewell is driven back right away. Jackson is wavering because Johnston is also wavering. Let's march Hampson across the bridge. Ewell now in position. But Ewell and Jackson both wavering. But now we've got the Union troops, Negley and artillery in a crossfire, but Ewell cannot hold the ground. Like too aggressive with those green and inexperienced troops. We have artillery support too now. Hopefully Jackson can hold strong. Oh, battle has fallen to indecisive all of a sudden. Let's see what David Jones can do. Jackson's a little bit nervous. He just went to stable. Stephen D. and the South Carolina militia trying to drive back Williams' brigade. Pendleton's artillery just trying to put holes through the ranks of Negley's brigade. And they're falling back. They're starting to waver. Make one last push with Colonel David Jones's brigade. We just routed Patterson's artillery. Now we have scored a major victory. Enemy is retreating. Our commanders report the enemy seems to be retreating from the field. Try to push within the given time. The first major battle of any significance, although small in size, will prove to be a major victory. Battle of Harpers Ferry, where we see Stonewall Jackson, Lee, Joe Johnston, Wade Hampton, all in the battle, getting their first experience. We can capture these guys. Alright, victory. We lost 632 men. Wow, we inflicted 2,200 casualties on Patterson's Department of Pennsylvania. Huge victory. To his bad performance in battle, Colonel Stewart has fallen in disgrace in the eyes of his men and the public. Glorious victory at Harpers Ferry. Department of Pennsylvania fleeing in panic. Colonel Stewart loses face. Colonel Thomas loses faith. But for the Yankee cause wavers. Unfortunately, really bad weather is going to slow our progress down, though. We're actually going to move Lee out of the Shenandoah Valley and back to Alexandria or Manassas Junction. And that is going to conclude the second episode of our Grand Tactician Civil War, the Confederate Campaign series. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and I also appreciate your time. Get ready for the next episode in the series. And thank you. You have a very lovely evening.